And hello there, folks. This is your Uncle Troy. Today we are playing Minecraft Feed the Beast MindCrack Edition. I think this is up to MindCrack Edition 8.2.0, so there may be some differences. Let's see if we have any chickens living in our... Nope, I think we finally killed all the chickens. Yeah, quite a few chickens. Okay, so today instead of doing one big project, we're going to do several small projects, answer a few questions and the like. To start with, people keep asking, how do you get programs into the turtles? Because when I covered, for example, my tree farm tending turtle program here, I kind of skipped over some stuff, and I had no intention of anybody looking through this listening here, watching this video, and trying to type all this in. I expected people to go to my website and download the program. I never thought anyone would try to type all this in from the video. So let me tell you, you have my respect and admiration for even trying. That was not the intention here. So don't do that. Instead, what you want to do is you want to go to my website, you want to download the program in question, and you want to use a program called CC Copy. There should be a link to that in the video description below, and read the forum post where that program was created, and use that instead to... had a tree grow, good. Use that to enter the program into the turtle. So for those of you who ask how to edit this program outside of Minecraft, or how to just look at it and compare it to other programs outside of Minecraft, when Windows doesn't know how to load the program or loads it into Notepad, which seems to be the default for Windows whenever there is a program or a file it doesn't know how to load. If you load this into Notepad, it won't work right, probably because... well, first of all, to view one of these Lua program scripts, you need just a plain old text editor. Meaning it doesn't do any of the fancy formattings or different fonts or whatever. It's just a plain old text editor. And the problem with plain old text editors is that they do not always use the right or the same combination of characters to indicate the end of a line from one line to the next. So Notepad, well, basically, if you load it into, if I create this file in one text editor and then you load it into another, they may not agree on how to end a line here. The correct combination of characters, which cause it to say this is the end of this line and the start of this next line. So if you load up one of these things in, say, Notepad, it may show it something like this. And you say, well, I cannot read that, I cannot understand that. So what you might do is instead load the program into WordPad, or me personally, I use Notepad++, which is a free replacement for Notepad, and should give you a better idea of how the program is set up. So another question is, how do I make a program run over and over or run a certain number of times? For example, list program files. We've got this tree farm here. And what if you want to make this tree farm automatic? Well, one way to do that is to create a program called Startup. And to make something run forever, you do while true do, then a command, in this case, shell run tree farm, not tree harm, tree farm. And then if you want a pause between runs of the program, you might say something like sleep, say 600, which would mean sleep for 10 minutes, 60 seconds times 10, 600, end. And what this will do is every time you place the program, or the program reloads because the server restarts, or the chunk that the turtle is in reloads, then it will run tree farm. And then once tree farm is finished running, it will sleep for 10 minutes, and then it will cycle back and do again until you Control-T to exit. Now, unfortunately, tree farm is a bad example because Control-Exit without saving. Tree farm, oops, tree farm. Alright, where are my home keys here? Tree farm stops and asks you to press enter when ready. So you'll have to alter the program here. Hold down Control T to terminate. Terminated. But that's a simple way of doing it. And if you wanted to just run it a certain number of times, say 10 times, you would say something like for I equals 1, 10 do shall run whatever your program name is. Again, sleep for however long, say 5 minutes. Or no, that's not 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. And then end. So that's how you would like every time the turtle is placed or the turtle is reloaded, the server restarts, whatever, would run it 10 times and then sleep 5 minutes between each run and then finally end. And again, we're not going to save this because I do not recommend this because the current use of turtles do not have what's called persistence, which means if this chunk is unloaded, the server, I go far away, and the server or the chunk that turtle's in is unloaded, the turtle will stop what it's doing. And it may be in the middle of the program, so it might be up at the top of the tree or something. So the next time it loads and starts trying to run the program, it will be in the wrong start position. So I would wait. Let's see, are all these full now? Yes. Okay. Turn this off. Bleep. So what I would do is I would wait until persistence is implemented in Turtles, which is going to be any version now. And then once persistence is in there, then you can... the tree farm's really coming along while I'm not paying attention. Once persistence is there, then in theory, if the chunk is unloaded, if the server stops and is back, then the turtle should take up exactly where they were when the chunk is reloaded. So another thing people have asked me about the turtles is that it doesn't work, or turtle doesn't move even if I have fuel in it. The turtle doesn't move correctly. So let me give you a little hint here. Before you do anything, type in refuel and see what your fuel level is, because some programs, even if they're set to automatically fuel and you have fuel in there, might try to take a step or two before they check the refuel function. So you want to make sure your fuel level is topped off before you start running the program. In this case, this one has plenty of fuel. Let's check this one over here. Oh, this is a test I was doing. It's got a wireless modem on the side, and so he's listening for a signal, so we won't bother him. Let's go over here. Oh, about dark. I think all these have plenty of... oops, I accidentally hit the sort button. Yeah, this one has 10,000. I keep getting my fingers off the key, and this one has 12,000. But what you might want to do before you even start messing with turtles is to put a whole bunch of charcoal in there and type refuel all, and that will suck a whole stack of charcoal in and give you about 5,000 movement points. And do that before you start trying to run your tree farm or run your excavation program or any other program. Even if it says they're self-fueling, even if it says put fuel in slot 1, for example, my tree farm program expects fuel in slot 1, saplings in slot 2. So even if the program says it will fuel itself, give it fuel beforehand. Let's take these out here. Control T to terminate. Type in refuel, which checks the fuel level, and says fuel level is 16. Which should be enough to get it to the first. Since that's only 2 steps away, it'll get it up there and start. Now, some people have asked questions about this tree farm. They say they've set it up and tried to run my tree farm program, and it's not working. So a few hints of things I've seen done wrong. As you can see, we are 1, 2, spaces away from the first tree here. We are on the level above. See how this is not level with the base of the tree, but one up. You can see that between these rows here, we're 1, 2, 3 blocks. And from one tree pad to the other is 1, 2, 3 blocks. So it's 2 from the edge, 3 blocks between this way, 3 blocks between this way. And let's clean all this up real quick. Now, for those who have asked why I use water currents instead of, say, transposers or a network of obsidian pipes, which, as you can hear, listen closely, you hear a tink. The obsidian pipes pick up the dirt which is falling. I think that's all of it. Why don't I use transposers or something else underneath? Well, those things only work on like a 3x3 area, and this thing is like 30x30 spaces, which was just a couple of buckets of water and some digging. But for transposers, well, if a transposer can only transpose from, say, 3 wide, and we're 30x30, that would be 10 across and 10 that way, which would be 10 times 10, 100 transposers, and all the piping and all the redstone power or whatever other signal it needs. So that won't work too well. And that's why we use water currents here instead of the transposers or some fancier technique. All right, I'm going to take a nap real quick, and we'll be back in just a minute. And we're back. And I have done something because now we have... I must have touched the control wrong. I believe this is showing us chunk boundaries. I wonder how I did that. I mean, I admit this is neat. And this is... let's see. No, not that one. Alright, I'm not sure what I pressed to turn that on or off. I'll have to check later. Okay, something else people have asked me is how do I find out the recipes for things? This is called Never Enough Items or Not Enough Items, which is enabled on mine. It's got several modes: cheat mode, recipe mode, utility mode. I'm not sure exactly what that is. You can set the controls however you want it to be. Chunk overlay F9. That's the problem. I hit F9 to start and end my recording session, and I guess sometimes let's change that to F10. Alright, now if I hit F10, good. Okay. So apparently you got just the lines. Hit it again. You've got just the lines and the grid. And hit it again. We're back to nothing. Cool. Okay, now I know something I didn't know. But yes, Never Enough Items is how you get a recipe. For example, you need to know how to do a redstone engine. You click on it, and it says you need wood planks, some glass, wood gears, pistons, and another wood gear. And then you just click on a wood gear here to see how to make the wood gear. Now, of course, you say, well, that doesn't help because when I get back here, I've forgotten what it looks like. Well, all you have to do is hit this little question mark here, and it shows you an outline. Now, let's say, for example, you have the materials you need to make that. Well, if you shift-click here on this question mark, it goes ahead and fills in from your inventory the stuff you need to make the item. So you click on what you need, it shows it to you. If you click, it gives you an outline here and lets you fill it in. But if you already have the stuff you need, then you are going to shift click here on this little question mark, and it will fill it in and make as many as you need. And that is my favorite use for never enough items. So let's say, for example, you want to make a transposer. Well, it says you need these items. You need various types of planks or other things, cobblestone, a piston, redstone. Now, unfortunately, I don't have most of that stuff in my inventory, so I can't build one. See, I shift-clicked right then, but since I don't have any of those items, it did not fill them in. What's something else people have asked me? Oh, why do I use these redstone engines powered by a lever instead of one of the more fancier things? For example, auto-arctic engines, I think is what they say. Arctic gate. Yeah. Iron and gate, iron ore gate, gold, diamond, or just the plain gate. Because this thing here, apparently you can put it directly onto a pipe and it will do the job of these engines and sucking things out of the pipe. And you can even set it to, like, if there's room in the inventory here of wherever it's going, to only then send items. So this whole thing I've got here that I have to manually sit down and tell it to start pumping items or not, suppose that could be handled with an Antarctic gate or one of these things. But the problem is, this is not a crafting table this is in. This is an assembly table. Notice I don't have a little question mark over here. Wrong button. Alright, so this is an assembly table that I need to make this, and not a regular craft bench. An assembly table. Apparently we have multiple versions. I think this is for Railcraft here. An assembly table, well, that needs this stuff. Diamond, obsidian, I have that. A diamond gear, which is 4 diamonds around a gold gear, which is 4 gold around an iron gear, which is 4 iron around a stone gear, which is 4 cobble around a wood gear, which is 4 sticks. All that to get a to get an assembly table. Now, an assembly table cannot power it directly. Instead, it needs a laser.
Yes, Dr. Scott. A laser capable of emitting a beam of pure antimatter.
And this laser needs more obsidian, more diamonds, and more redstone, which has to then be powered by an outside source. So when people say, well, why aren't you using the Arctic gates? I will say, because I do not have a laser and an assembly table yet. Plus, when you do create an Arctic, it apparently needs 10,000 somethings. I don't know if that's 10,000 build units, 10,000 seconds, 10,000 watt. But apparently it takes a long time, and you have to power the assembly table laser continually. Continually is the word I'm looking for. You have to power it continually, or it don't work. So that is why I've not created Arctic gates. And, well, hello, Mr. Squid. Poor thing. So that is why I don't use the Arctic gates, is that I don't have an assembly table yet. I do not have, well, for a long time there in my main play world, I did not have enough diamonds to really be messing around with anything. Come along, Mr. Yeah, he's still warping around. I don't know why he's warping around, since I'm actually getting 30 frames per second. And this is a single-player world on a single-player kick-butt computer, as my nephew would say. With a single instance of Minecraft, and I don't have, like, I'm not rendering video in the background or anything like that. I don't know that I've ever actually seen this happen in, real time here. I mean, it's what I assume has been happening, since otherwise I wouldn't have had, stacks and stacks of ink sacks here. And that was not intentional. but I am kind of glad it happened. Well, not glad it happened, poor thing. But it showed I was right in creating this tree farm in such a way. Well, looks like he's down in there now. Yeah. Poof. He just, sorry. He may have, I don't know if he dropped ink sacks or if they've already come up here. I can't remember. Oh, nope, there we went. He apparently dropped 2 ink sacks. So that's the purpose of this chest here. There's a obsidian pipe down there that picks up anything that falls onto it. The water currents bring things down to it. Then there's a diamond sorting pipe right down there that says logs go this way, firs go that way, or saplings go that way, and anything else goes this way. So the logs end up over here into this barrel where they go into my experience grinder. The saplings go over here where they fill up this chest where this turtle can pick them up so that when he goes through the tree farm he can replant. By the way, the redwoods and fir saplings, I think they come from a mod called Extra Biomes or Biomes XL or something like that, which is part of the Feed the Beast MindCrack pack. Alright then, I think that's everything I intended to cover today. Showed how to more about turtles and the basics and editing programs. Again, the link to the ComputerCraft wiki, the ComputerCraft website, I should say, which has a wiki and a forums, is in every Feed the Beast video. A link to the ComputerCraft copy program that lets you take programs downloaded from an outside source and put them into your turtle. That is also linked in every video description. Remember that you have to edit these with WordPad or Notepad++ instead of plain Notepad. Save them as plain text files. When you craft, be sure to take advantage of the never enough items. It'll tell you how to make anything you need. And hitting the little question mark here gives you an outline. And if you have the have the items in your inventory to craft it, just shift click this little question mark, and then it'll go ahead and automatically put them up here for you and save you a step. In a future episode, I'm going to show you a new and improved tree farm design. I'm also going to experiment with transport tubes. No, these are transport pipes. I'm going to experiment with pneumatic tubes and maybe some new turtle programs. I am working on an improved excavate command, which is called here simply X. And it is going to be the focus of a future episode. So, in the meantime, this is Uncle Troy signing out. Please have a good night.